Hello students. Go ahead and start writing your title, Cornell Notes, Characteristics of Living Things. Characteristics means how do we know something's alive? They're like traits or things to look for to know if something's alive or not. Set it up with the Cornell Notes style. We're going to have a summary at the end and an advanced question, which I'll grade at a later date. As always, if the video is going too fast, pause it, and if you need to because you missed something, rewind it. Alright, let's begin. Imagine you're out for a walk and you see this, and you're like, is that alive? Or is that just something that's not alive? Well, how do scientists or educated students like you know or can check if something is alive or not? Well, there's some things to look for, or characteristics, to check if something like this yellow blob thing is alive. By the way, if you said it is alive, it actually is. It's called slime mold. Pretty weird organism. But here's how we know it's alive. So for number one, right, scientists use various tests or look-fors or characteristics, as is known, to see if something is alive or not. And there's more than the ones that are mentioned in today's notes, but today's notes are the major ones you need to remember for the next test. Go ahead and think up a question for number one. You could write something such as, what do scientists know, or how do scientists know if something is alive? Or how do scientists know if something is not alive? Here's one of the first major tests. We use microscopes to see inside the creature, like the slime mold here. Let me go back to it. If you look under a microscope and you see little circles or little square shapes, they're called cells. If we see cells, which are little pieces of the creature or the organism, we know it's alive. For example, in plants, they look kind of like this. And in humans, we have different kinds of shape, but we have circular ones, we have diamond-shaped ones, all kinds of different shapes. And this black outline is the outside of the cell, and this little thing in here is called a nucleus, and inside is something called DNA, which is going to be very important in this unit. And basically DNA looks like this. It's instructions, it's like a chain like this. It's instructions on how to make more of itself. And we'll talk more about how this amazing little molecule that has the keys to a lot of things when it comes to talking about life. Okay, so number two, right? All living things have cells and DNA. And in cells, the definitions are the smallest living parts of an organism. So again, cells are the smallest living parts of an organism. Some students confuse atoms and cells because we did talk about atoms before. Atoms are not alive and cells are, and atoms actually make up cells. But again, cells are the smallest living parts of an organism. And just like I showed you in that picture, within cells there's DNA. And then DNA are the instructions on how to build more cells. And DNA is important for other things, but we'll talk more about that in a future lesson. Go ahead and catch up and write that if you haven't. Pause this video if you need more time, and then we'll move on. Alright, the next idea. All living things use energy. So be it a slime mold, a tardigrade, any organism, we know it's living if it uses energy. If you're asking, well, plants, how do they use energy? They don't have mouths, they don't eat. Where do they get their energy from? Well, even plants use this process called photosynthesis to get energy from the sun. Go ahead and make up your question on the left-hand side. Pause the video if you need a minute. And the last idea is all living things reproduce. If they wouldn't reproduce, they would go extinct. There has to be more of them, so it's a key component of living things. And again, this is not a list of everything that living things have or traits of living things, but this is just some of the major key ideas. Okay, go ahead and begin your 4-sentence summary and your advanced question. Have a good day.